honest, I saw Gautam Buddha in your profile, so I was interested, how did you come to know about this man, Gautam Buddha?
Buddha, how did I come to know about him? Simply through study,
Yeah,
simply through self-education and study. You know, um,
okay.
that's how I came to know about him. You know, the internet and books are both, excuse me, are both wonderful things. So through them, we can educate ourselves. Of course, you've got to ask yourself how much of the information that you read online is true and how much is based on falsehood. Because I think we're living in a post-truth world. To be honest with you, I think it can be difficult to arrive at the truth, and more difficult than ever, because the more information that's out there, the harder it is to think, well, is this does this come from an academic source, or is this just something that some random person made up and put out there? Do you see what I mean? So you've really got to check your sources. But yeah, that's how I came to know about him. I mean, I don't know an incredible amount about Buddha, but what I do know makes me believe that the way he described living your life, or his life coaching, was very accurate, spot on, and it still applies today. That's what like what he says about attachment and trying to remain detached and hold value in yourself and not take your value from what somebody else says or does relating to you, because other people don't hold your value. You hold your own value. And that's one of the one of the things that Buddha taught. And it's right. Okay. We go within yourself to find happiness. That's also what he said. Because if you wait for somebody else to give you happiness, or you think someone else is going to hold the keys to your happiness, say through a marriage or something like that, or a friendship or whatever, you're going to be disappointed. I think that's what he was saying. Yeah. So,
Great, great. Indeed, his teaching is very relevant, I think, all the time, throughout the time, and I think it is going to be relevant for forever. Yeah, he was one of the Indian mystics. So, yeah,
a
I
lot to learn
definitely.
from. Mhm. And there are a lot
Mhm.
of like spiritual gurus, and I know a lot of them live in India. And there's one called Sadguru, and he's quite I don't know if you've heard of him before, but like I love to watch him. He's a very interesting guy, and whenever I like him, because whenever somebody asks him a question, he might laugh for about 2 minutes before he answers it, and you can tell he's mulling over the question, and like he finds some amusement in the questions that are asked. Especially, I think, if the questions that are asked to him come from the other person's ego, he laughs even more. If you see what I mean, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. And something
And
interested me
surely,
when you
yes,
started talking. You said about cutting through excuses for things as well.
I know Sadhguru.
Mhm.
Okay, so yes, so India has been land of mystics, and it has been producing mystics time to time. But there are so many. If you talk about the lists, I know so many, and if you want to, if you want to explore, then you'll have to take a deep dive into it. But definitely, yes, in this time, he is doing a great work.
So that's really weird, because they talk about 5 degrees of separation between you and somebody who lives at the other end of the world that you've never met, such as a famous guy, Sadhguru, and like I have a conversation with you here on Cambly and you know him. And I've watched a lot of it, a lot of his stuff and things like that, and spent time contemplating things he said. Like he's interesting when he talked about the intellect dissecting things. And really, he's talking about feeling things instead of trying to dissect them to arrive at truths. And I think there's some wisdom to that. I think modern society teaches us to ignore our instincts. Would you say that's true? And yeah, like the
This is
corporate world, especially.
absolutely true.
Yeah, yeah.
It is absolutely true. If you look at the modern society, up day by day, it looks like we are ignoring our inner nature instinct.
Mhm.
So it is sad. Like we have so much convenience and comfort and so many things right now, and I think this is a time where we should look toward the truth. We
Yeah.
should go in the dimension of truth, because our lots of problem has been solved. Like we are not hungry now. We have
Mhm.
enough food to eat. We have our enough problem has been solved. We have lots of like we have all sorts of
Mhm.
conveniences. After all, it seems like now people are going towards the dispel direction. They are day by day getting into dark
Mhm.
directions in their life.
Yeah,
Don't you feel like that?
yes, I do. I think we're living in really weird times, almost apocalyptic times. Like when I look at what's happening in Israel now, I'm thinking, oh, is this the beginning of the Third World War? But I also think we're moving into a place in which more and more people are waking up and they're realizing the truths of spiritual gurus and, special guys such as Buddha and Sadguru. They're realizing these guys, they're speaking the truth. And unless I wake up and start to follow the right path, the world is, I think, it's never been a more divisive time as well. And that scares the hell out of me, to be honest with you. I think I see people, hating each other because the media tells them to do it. Hate this person because they're a different religion from you. Hate this person because they've got a different political belief. Hate this person because they're a different gender. Hate them because they're from this country and you're from that country. But when I'm here on Cambly and I talk to people from all over the world, I notice that there's a lot more that unifies people than there ever will be that divides people. And, I get the opportunity to come on here and be rebellious against the system and talk to people about that as well. And believe me, I take that opportunity at every given moment. Yeah. I think that teaching
I
is
think,
about learning as well, as much as anything else.
mm, of course, of course. So yeah, that's the sad thing right now. I think, politicians,
Mhm.
I don't feel like, anybody who doesn't know how to control themselves, their inner dimensions should be politicians in this world. Because especially when you are politician, you have, millions of life in your hands.
Yeah.
So just because of hatred, you are going to, just kill these people. So that's why I feel like sometimes one who is up to the Gautam Buddha's point should be only leader in this world. Otherwise, everybody should be free. We don't need any
100%.
leader
No, we don't
because we
actually
are
need
retarded.
them. What are they doing? They're not
Yes,
leading us. They're subjugating us. Actually, all around the world, they're subjugating us, and they are serving corporations, and they are serving the man and the system. And what they're doing is they're treating people like as though we are cattle of some kind or farm animals. Except they don't kill us and then use us for meat. What they do is we are the product, and they're selling things. They're trying to sell us, pharmaceutical products. They're trying to sell us poisoned, contaminated food, and every other product that you could think of. And and they're using algorithms via computers to do that with, and like they're using us like a resource. And when you wake up and realize that that's all politicians are really about, you realize they don't serve you at all. And the answer isn't serving them. The answer really, I think, is turning off the news media, turning away from your television, educating yourself and looking within yourself from the truth and getting in touch with your instinct as well before it's too late. Yeah.
and let me tell you one thing: unless somebody is touched with their inner instinct, cannot understand what is wrong and right. So that's also a kind of delusion that media and the world creates around us since our childhood, because they take away ourselves from ourselves. Kind
Yeah,
of, they
it's
this
called
world.
conditioning.
Yes, yeah. So this world does not let you know who you are. Since your
No,
birth, they have started recognizing you as somebody's son, somebody's, uh, uh, so many things. You are belonging from this country, you are this man, that man, and people
no,
get
that's
into
not who you
delusions
are.
in their childhood.
Yeah, that's not who you are. You're not what did Sadhguru said. He says you're not your thoughts, you're not your mind, you're not your body, you're not any of
Yeah,
those things. You're something more. You're actually part of the
you're
source.
something more.
You're
Your
part of the all.
consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very fast. You are
Mhm.
just as vast as this existence is. I
Yeah.
know in Indian mysticism it is said that you are not a body, you are not a mind, you are
Bodies.
you
Yeah.
are you are a consciousness, and consciousness means you are as vast as this whole existence universe is. So
Yeah.
you are not less than that. It's
Yeah.
that it, it,
Part of God.
everything is
God
that
is
you
part
you
of.
you have not opened to,
Yeah.
and you don't know how to connect with the universe, because the way society has been structured, the way people start bringing up you since your childhood, you get away
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah. I
this
totally. I
inner
think it's
instinct.
actually, it's fundamentally true. Everything that you're saying and the stuff Sadhguru said, I think it is true. And I think the system is conditioning people to move away from the true truth about human existence and about animal existence, and us all being part of the same source that is, the creator. It wants us to move away from all of that entirely and lose touch with our instinct and live in a state of kind of fear and anger. So as soon as you do anything to remove yourself from those states of fear and anger, you start to win. What I do, I get involved in music. I love to sing. Okay, and many times a week I go out playing music. That's what I do. Why do I do that? Deliberately to unify people, because I think music is a strong unifier, and there's something about the vibrations of music that is quite holy in bringing people together. I really believe that. And teaching is another
Uh,
way, of course. You know what you were saying about being a life coach, not just a teacher? That really resonated with me. Really resonated with me as soon as you started speaking. Yeah. So I think you and I, it's really weird. We've just met here today, but there are no coincidences. And I think fundamentally, when it comes to esoterics and spirituality and what we understand about the source, we're on exactly the same page, although we're living in entirely different parts of the world and we just met. So, and
yeah, we just met.
a universe synchronicity, isn't it? It's wonderful that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what else do you do to bring you joy and stay in touch with the source? I'm interested to know.
Just I was meditating couple of years back, but right now I'm not meditating as intensely as I was doing before. So kind of just, meditating, sitting silently, just observing the things around me. And to be honest, always I'm watchful about everything around me. I'm conscious, so just I'm alert. So whatever is happening, I'm witnessing, and I'm just witnessing the way it looks like, yes, I'm alive, and whatever is going on around me, I'm responsible for it. Whatever is I'm doing, I'm responsible for it, nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way that I'm doing right now. And to be
Wonderful.
honest, I'm not doing much, but I think, I will have to take a next step now to get more closer to my instinct.
Yeah, well, we're all works in progress, aren't we? Nobody ever really, unless you're one of these spiritual leaders, you might not ever get to that level. But you've got, it's like the trying is what's important, if you see what I mean, because we're all works in progress, and
Yeah,
and it's that, and I can see that you are trying. Yeah, it was a massive pleasure to meet you today, and I'm really glad that we had this conversation. Okay, and your level of English, it's right up there. All right, so don't worry about that. Wonderful. All right.
thank,
So
thank,
have a
thank you
wonderful
very
day.
much.
I feel really grateful to have met you. You take it easy, Anand.